Is this shit on? Is this working? Oh god. Oh fuck. Oh no. Alright. Well, uh, here we are. Doing one of these things. Just see what happens if I tweet that. Let's make sure this is working over here. Oh shit. Oh god. Oh no. Okay. That's working. Fantastic. What a treat. Anyway, I haven't the slightest clue what I'm doing. We didn't stream art yesterday because I just didn't really feel like it. I don't know. Instead, I took a bunch of pictures of shit and kind of walked around aimlessly. Um, anyway, let's see what we got. We'll see if there's anything interesting. Okay. I'm putting. All right, so it's one of the. All right, this is landfall games that people made Peak, which I suck at. But they tweeted out their little mascot in one of those scenarios. You know, the flight one's 10-hour flight. And you sit next to bro, but it's all empty except for him. Anyway, I haven't the slightest idea what I'm gonna draw. Uh, and you know what? I guess let's wait because I fucking really want to draw this, but I've already drawn something from this person, so we'll wait for now. Uh, kind of want to draw this. I don't really know what I'm looking at here. Yeah, it's a carrot. Uh-huh. Sure. Right. I don't know what's going. Now wait a minute. Okay. All right. Hmm. We need something way less complicated than most of this. We might have. Is that fucking garlic? He's thinking. I should probably do this, where I learn anatomy, but I'm not going to. So I should probably draw this, a car crash, because there's a lot of detail, and it's not the same thing I always draw. But I'm not going to. This is suspicious. Okay. Why the fuck does Sue make such fucking like good like meme response? Like what's going on here? Meme response images. This person is kind of do good. They're what I aspire to be, a shit poster but with art. Should I draw this dog? I don't want to draw the dog. I don't want to draw that dog. We're just gonna scroll past that like we didn't see. Is this Emmett Silk? I think this is Emmett Silk. Fuck. How did I even mute myself at that point? I don't even know what the fuck happened, but I guess I've been muted for quite a bit, most likely, because I do not remember the last time I even muted. I think it was when I drank water like 10 minutes ago at the start of the stream, which doesn't make any sense. What a strange looking ear. Well, anyway, what I was saying is I feel like it makes more sense to try and draw the entirety of the head and then like do everything else after and like edit it down, because if I do it this way, it's going to be better for my like learning experience here. What? All right. Is this a really long fingernail? Is this a weird eye line that happens to connect to the hair, or are these all eyelashes? Or is this hair and they happen to align? What am I looking at? I don't know. We're going to do our best though. I feel like, hold on. I feel like this, I don't know. Something about this feels like maybe it's the chin. Like the proportions are off. I mean, it's stylized, so it's fine. But it's going to be hard to plan out uh my own proportions because I fucking suck. So let's do face. Ah, fuck. God damn it. Come on. Face. Uh, you know what? I probably should have done this as face. And just done the mouth also in it. Alright, so we got that going. Do they not have teeth? I guess I probably wouldn't draw teeth here either, you know? Like, you're trying to draw uh your dissatisfaction, but not necessarily anger, and I feel like anger might, you know, teeth might make it look a little angy. Okay. All right. Sorry. Let's draw some hair. I might be a little more liberal with the hair today. I feel like it'll be good practice to maybe like get the general idea. Oh, that's way too dark, but whatever, who cares? Well, let's try and get the general idea. And then from there, we'll maybe try and wing it just a bit for some level of practice. I don't know. Am I crazy for thinking that's smart? Can I fucking find my thing, please? Okay, let's get back to the her. Okay, so that's gonna probably be replaced by a hand at some point, so let's not worry too much about that. And they seem to have just done like an extra thick line to show that the hair was behind this, and then kind of like loops back around. since we're not going to be using color, it's going to be harder. Okay. So let's edit the face again. See, this is what I was talking about, where I think this will look better after all is said and done. Because we're taking the time for the face, and I'm hoping that that lets us have a little more perspective to it. Let's do the brows real quick so we don't get a little too far off here. Although, is this sponsored by Nike? Like, what is this? Looks like a fucking slug. Okay. Let's go back to the hair real quick. Actually, I think we can hold off on the hair, right? Well, for now, we'll just add like a couple of those. Just so happen to align to the fucking brow or whatever. It's fine. It's fine. Please just add. Please. Thank you. Let's get some water. Okay. All right. Um. let's do a little hand job here. Work on the hand, if you will. Is there something wrong with me? We're gonna keep going for now. I know that this is way off. I just don't know what to do right now. So let me have this. That kind of goes like that. I feel like the thumb is backwards, but I'll deal with that later. Okay, so the first thing that we gotta do is move it. Okay. 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 You know, hold on. I don't think I need to do that. I think I need to maybe fix this and that. I actually don't think these came out that bad. Like maybe their placement could have been better, but I'm thinking this is not terrible. Fucking thumb. That thumb. Oh my god, no. Okay. Okay. All right. So let's redo this. Think maybe if we do roughly this, that'll help. If I hold my hand, okay. So it's gonna be kind of more like that for this one, but the rest of them will be a little different as well. I'm gonna slimathize them if I can. It's a little too slim. Well, actually, wait a minute. Kind of add a little bend to it. And then, you know, you know, and then we can go to the, you know. So I'm wondering, is there like a way to make it so that if I draw a layer, I don't necessarily have to go back and erase a layer? Does that make sense? Like, can I make it so that this shows over that and even the white parts, like, would cover? So I don't have to, definitely have to redo that. But so I don't have to, fuck, I can't, I feel like I just can't do this right now. I don't know what it is. You know what, forget the nails, I guess. Just do the fingy creases. What do we think? I feel like the hand doesn't really fit the rest. I don't know what it is. Maybe just add the slightest bit to the palm here. Okay. Let's go back to the eyes. What if I do this? It's just a little different than the other. Do you know what I mean? Set it apart from the original. Kind of like, you know, I do this all the time. Like clean your eyes, kind of rub them. Maybe they're dry. It feels like it's moistening them. It probably isn't. Probably it's just introducing bacteria. Wait, we don't want that in the eyes though. Let's put that with the mouth. Okay. Bodacious. So that means it's time to go back to the face. I'll go ahead and get rid of that. Probably should be enough for now. And then we'll go back to the body. They did this way different than I'm used to. So it's going to be hard for me. Let's actually just do it kind of like that. Fuck, how do I do this? The scaling is too fucked up. This hand is too big for this head. That's on me. Okay, let's go back to fingies real quick. Okay. Control C, Control V. Control V. Control V. Control V. Okay. Okay. I think we can do this. Here's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna save this for now. We'll stop. Switch to this. Just so we get a better look. Alright, so we want everything but the body. No background either. We're gonna hit it with this. We're gonna hit it with that. I think that's it. Okay. We're done. We are done. Select, deselect. We're going to now undo the body that we have here, I think. I could probably salvage this. Yeah. That's not bad. Okay. Wait, is this the play with perspective? Just draw it as you would. And then you kind of ultimately get it. You know? Just make it up as you go along. And you'll do it. I think that's how you do stuff. You know what? Fuck it. Let's turn this into a vest instead of a sweater vest. Okay. Wait. That's hair. That's hair. Let's go. Let's go back to hair and do this. Should we? All right. Should we just undo the fucking hair that we've done? Okay. No. No, let's not. Let's just completely undo that, and let's turn that into that like that, and then. Okay. And now let's just go for it. All right. Let's go to the face a little bit over here, and I think we can like maybe get away with like faking some hair down here or something. And we'll do some more face right here. I think I might need to move the mouth with the way things are going. Hair. Go away, please. Sometimes you just need something to not be in your way, you know? Okay. Let's add a little layer here real quick for the ear. You know what? This isn't coming out all that terrible, is it? Oh my god. Okay. Let's adjust the mouth. There we go. Okay. All right. Go back into the hair layer real quick. You know what? Actually, I was sealing that up, but fuck it. We've all had that strand that kind of fucks with you. Just get out of here, bro. Kind of just looks like sideburns, actually, now that I'm looking at it. Should we just give her sideburns? Or give whatever's going on here sideburns? Okay. Let's redo this now. I'm gonna, man, the thingies one's gonna be tough because I feel like I've got the wrong angle for a lot of it, but I don't know that I can do any better for the hand. But I really don't feel like I like how it looks, if that makes sense. Can I? So let's take all the thingies. Forget the hair. Let's take all the thingies for here. Can we? So what happens if I like reverse these? Okay. And then like try to angle that down maybe a little bit. Okay. And now we'll take the main thingies. We'll deselect all of that. And we'll select the main thingies. And we're gonna try. Okay, what happens if I... Oh, okay, that's what happens. What if I just make it slightly bigger and lower it a little bit maybe? Okay. How do I do this? Doesn't help. I don't know. I'm looking for like any fucking hack, if you will, to try and force your perspective. I don't know if that makes sense. This has to be from face then. It's not. Okay, I don't know what the hell that's from. How the fuck do I draw this? What if I separate it a little bit more? No, I want it to be so that that comes out. God, that's way too long though. No. Come on. So like the way theirs is, it's more like resting on it. The way I'm trying to do it, I'm trying to do it like this. But I don't know that there's a way for me to do it that I know like that I can do right now. you know? I just don't got that skill level. Which, to be fair, is on me for even trying. There is a solution here, and that's to admit I can't draw a fucking hand. Okay, we're gonna save this for now. We're gonna save it as a ping. Save that. I'm saving it, you know, in case something fucking crashes. But, yeah, I just don't really know where to go from here on this. I don't feel like I have the skill level to do what I want to do. Let's get a mouse to do that. I don't know. I feel like the mouth is just a gape and it's kind of weird. I don't really like it. I don't know. I don't know, man. I feel like this is like I don't know. I'm stuck, you know? I don't know how to solve the hand problem because I have zero talent, if you will. That's it. We're drawing a knife. Okay. Shall we? So this is I don't think it's like technically a canoe, but not really. There a canoe usually has like a big kind of drop point that has some belly to it, and it usually is kind of the opposite of this, where here the handle comes to a point and this kind of bows out. A canoe usually bows out a little bit, and a really thick one would be called like a sow belly, uh, or something like that. Basically, it's supposed to indicate that it looks pregnant. Um, anyway, so we're gonna try and draw. But they usually have two to, well, I guess technically you don't even need more than two. I guess you could argue if you want to call it the handle shape, you only need one. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of multi-blade knives, except for like specifically Swiss Army knives or something. But for like actual just plain blade usage, I prefer just a single blade. It's just way more satisfying. This is a Great Eastern Cutlery. I bought this for I think 45 bucks. I don't know what they go for now, probably around 200. If I had to guess, the reason I didn't sell it as soon as I found that out is because this one has, where is it? There it is. So this one has actually like a little crack in its scale. It's not actually a crack. It's a crack in the acrylic underneath the acrylic. So this is what they call unicorn horn resin, I believe is actually what it is, or something like that. So it's supposed to look like real horn, which horn is a very traditional, knife handle material. Um, Usually, most like bone handle knives are actually probably like a deer antler or something. So it's like still technically bone. It'll be like staghorn or some shit. Um, Not that you can't get bone handled knives, but there are plenty of bone handles. I would say a modern, let's say like a modern bone knife, probably like a good quality one, but still probably mass produced, is honestly probably from chicken bones. If I had to guess, it's probably like out of China from, you know, I think Kershaw had one, for example. It's probably a chicken bone. That'd be my guess. And that's mostly because there's actually a lot of laws around it to prevent poaching. For example, rhino horn would be immensely illegal. There are exceptions to things like ivory and horn, in that if it's older than a certain date, I believe you can own it. I don't know about sales. You might have to like go through some sort of process to sell something like that, but you definitely can't do anything modern. Nor would I understand why you'd want to. I think I have exactly one bone handle knife, and it is a Kershaw. And I think it was, like I said, it was like some sort of chicken bone. Um, they don't really tell you what the bone is, but I think I asked them at some point, or I asked the people who sell it, who had them make it. I feel like I was like, what bone is this? I generally don't like bone knives. I prefer. I know this doesn't sound particularly better, but like I would prefer it to have wood. um, Obviously, there's a separate problem with wood, although wood can be more ethically grown, I would argue, um, and harvested, such as buck. I think used to, I don't know if it's still couldn't. Maybe something happened. So this, to be fair, I haven't kept up with it, but I believe that all of their ebony is allegedly very ethically harvested. I don't know if it still is, but basically, ebony is a relatively rare wood, and what would happen is they would farm it instead of going out to like an actual ebony forest, if you will. It would be farmed, probably nearby, because that's obviously the climate it would require, but it would be like replanted younger trees instead of destroying like a habitat, which, you're kind of still destroying a habitat if you're destroying it to grow stuff specifically that maybe wasn't there already. But that's its own problem. Um, anyway, this is a different type of problem. Like I said, I believe this is a resin covered in like an acrylic. Let's see if we can't get you to see. Fuck, I forgot to turn on this light. I went without it for so long. I don't even know if it matters. No, you can't. You can't even fucking see it. There's a pattern in it that's like, the best way I can describe it is it's all like a white and a cream, and it's kind of like a barbershop pole. That's the best way I can describe it. Anyway, um, this is a non-locking, more traditional knife. Resin and acrylic plastics have their own problem, right? They're generally quite pollutive to the environment. Um, which is actually why, believe it or not, generally, real leather, like for example for boots, is usually better for the environment than like faux leather because it tends to degrade properly. For example, um, so if you were, fuck, how am I gonna fit this? By the way, if you were to wear, let's just say you buy some leather shoes, you were to wear them. You know what? Hold on, I have a strat. Let's undo this. But if you were to buy and wear them to the point that basically they can't be worn anymore. Yes, your soles most likely are leather or are rubber these days, although you can get leather that can slip, and not everyone lives a place or walks places where they can deal with leather soles. So you might have like rubber Vibram soles or something, and that can have problems degrading over time, or I suppose um, reintroducing itself to the environment. At, mostly after the vulcanization process. Obviously, rubber is actually a natural product from a rubber tree, so like plain old rubber, of course, also wouldn't really even be walkable on. I don't know how that would work. But I think it's like a combination of chemicals and heat that make it uh, useful as a shoe property, if you will. Okay. But my understanding would be wearing a leather shoe, first off, would last you longer, so that's one less pair. And you could probably get them resold. So like the sole put back on. So especially if it's leather, then again the leather will return to the earth in its own way. Whereas like the rubber soles or like a plastic sole will, I mean, it'll be on the earth, I guess, but it won't like degrade into a more natural property. Not that there aren't chemicals in leather, but if you buy like ethically made shoes, they are a little better for the environment. And the leather will last longer, right? If you've ever had like faux leather or pleather or whatever you want to call it, it goes by so many names. Um, Vegan leather, unless it's mushroom or cactus leather, vegan leather is usually just plastic or petroleum based. And you have it flake off, and it flakes off in these like little plastic chunks, and it's everywhere. And you're like, well, that degrades, right? That biodegrades, right? It doesn't biodegrade. It like those chunks sure do flake and get smaller and smaller, but it's basically like the whole microplastics in your balls type of thing, where it it's there, right? It's not gonna really change because it's a petroleum product, which again is natural to the earth, but it's not gonna like fit into anywhere in the environment properly the same way like the leather would. And again, not that there's no chemicals in especially certain leather, um, but you can definitely like if you shop right, and this honestly does tend to cost more, which is a huge factor for most people. But if you shop right, you can of course find yourself like ethically made leather shoes. And again, a lot of people are probably like, well, I don't want the cow to die, but I mean, the amount of fish that have to die for the runoff from the like sulfates or whatever the fuck that are used in your plastic shoe is way worse, or and the subsequent other environmental damage is way worse than whatever happens from, you know, the one cow that provides like 30 pairs of shoes. Not, like I said, not that there isn't any runoff or any sort of stuff like, I think especially, is it chrome tanned leather, I think is one of the worst ones for the environment. I think you usually want vegetable tan leather. And that's for two reasons. One, it's more expensive, and you're like, well, why is it more expensive? Why would I want it to be more expensive? I don't care about the price of things. I'm not trying to show it off. You would want it to be more expensive because as a result of it being a more expensive process that does have the extra steps and extra materials that are more friendly for the environment, right? That's what causes it to be more expensive. And as a result, most companies tend to use higher quality leather for that because they're like, well, why am I going to go through this process for like the shittiest possible leather when the type of person who cares about this is going to want the other stuff? They're going to pay anyway. So I might as well just make it as expensive and good as possible. For example, you know, it'd be fair to say I don't own any Alden Indies, but Alden Indies recently went up again. They're like $700 now. I think they were like 620, and I was like, someday they'll be on sale and I'll buy them. Boy, was I wrong. Anyway, um, this looks like a penis. But like Alden Indies are supposed to be really nice, high quality boots. They happen to be very expensive. They happen to use a lot of the processes that are better for the environment, and that happens to cost more, right? But the type of person who wants an Alden Indie is either a huge fan of Indiana Jones, which they can buy the like fake ones if they really wanted, or they're a huge fan of fine boot making, and that's the exact type of person who is still gonna pay like a couple $100 for boots because those boots are gonna last them 10 fucking years, and they can afford it, which is like a whole other argument, right? Where um there's this notion of what the fuck is going on outside? Somebody's just like revving their fucking tractor or something, or a lawnmower. um but there's like this whole notion of it's it's cheaper to be rich, right? It's cheaper to spend more money up front than it is to be poor, right? Like buying, you know, you can buy stuff on sale and get high quality stuff for cheap, but it generally is more beneficial for you to buy something higher quality, spend more up front so that it lasts longer. That's not always the case, but right. Oh fuck, what did I just set this to? I think it's supposed to be 10. It's generally a better financial decision to spend more up front so that you can spend less later. But of course, the prohibition there is you spend $300 on a pair of boots and you're out $300 as opposed to spending 30 on a pair of boots. Those boots last you a year, right? And you spend another 30. It just keeps going. I don't like this. I feel like one of my veins is Converse. I fucking love Converse. They're generally so comfortable. They're so light, and especially here in California, right? They're like a good kind of summer shoe, and a lot of times California is in like a perpetual summer. So like the canvas ones are so nice to wear, but they always split at like the at the toe joints for me. Like always, they within like 3 months they'll have that split there, and the rest of it will be fine, and I can wear them for like a year and a half or something. But like they're kind of expensive usually. Like I usually buy stuff on sale, so like I have a couple of pairs I think that were like 10 to 20 bucks, but that's not always the case, right? So if you were to pay full price, or even just like a more normal sale price, like 35 bucks, that's 35 bucks a year basically on shoes if that's your only pair, which is another thing. You should probably have more than one pair of shoes because believe it or not, they'll wear slower if you wear different pairs. But even more importantly, what? Especially when it comes to like sweat and like leather, believe it or not, you'll actually probably, fuck, I didn't use a big enough canvas. Um, you'll probably ruin them if you don't let them dry, depending on the leather. There's not enough space here. I'm gonna have to shrink it just a bit here. And by just a bit, I mean apparently a fucking lot. Nope, 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 nope. Let's do a new one. No. Well, that's a. Okay, I don't know what a group is, but we got a group. What is going on? It is not drawing where I want it to. Okay. I really, really, really want to be able to do this, but it just will not track if I do that. All right, we're gonna situate ourselves in such a way. All right. That's terrible. Fuck. There's a very simple solution here, by the way, and it's this. But this is going to be darker than what I want, right? Actually, that's not that bad. And then we'll just... Why did that come out kind of clean? Why did that come out so clean? I don't like that. That's making me nervous. Okay. All right. So then... Let's do that. And if I'm not mistaken, we actually missed a part on this. I got really distracted from the whole ethical thing, by the way. And I'm sorry about that. Uh, but we're not getting back into it because I feel like I'm just rambling and nobody gives a shit about what it's like to own a shoe. This is a nail nick, by the way, if you're wondering what this little thing is. This is so you can stick your nail in there and open it, right? I love to use these. I generally have problems with them because I tend to have brittle nails because of psoriasis, um, which is unfortunate for me because I find these so fucking sad. I used to be terrified of this type of knife as a kid, by the way. This and like backlocks. I was so scared I'd lop my fucking finger off. But plus the noise, right? It's kind of scary. I mean, I find them satisfying now, but how's this one? Does this one demand satisfaction? Oh my god, that's way bigger than I thought. Okay, this one's lighter. So this one has enough blade that I can just pinch it. Uh Apparently this is called the Bull Buster. So this is a type of knife called a sod buster. This is also Great Eastern cutlery. Um there we go. That's the noise I was hoping for. So that's a half stop. That's the full stop. That's it closed basically. Um so half stop, full close. This is red linen micarta, by the way. Oh god, that smells like paint. But I don't know. I find it so satisfying to do this. I could do this all day, man. Um, this one is a little smaller and harder to grasp overall, so it's still super satisfying, but it feels a little more risky to me. Um, I have a better one. I wanted a better example. What is this? I think this is the allegedly more premium version. Here we go. So this one is in ironwood. Oh, this one doesn't even have a half stop. Oh, this is backlock. Okay, that's why. Um, Something else super satisfying. Man. Let's put that away though. Which means that other one is the linen version. I could have swore I had like all my stuff right here. Is it in here? Oh, hey, here's the well, this is a backlock. This is a leather lotion. I'm just gonna put this right here. So that's to make your leather allegedly more supple. I don't find it really works. Oh, this one has like no fucking. Well, it's got the satisfying click there. So this is a sow belly. This is not a canoe, obviously, but I believe this is this was really cheap. This was like, I think it was $7. I was gonna say five. I think it was like 7.50 something. Um, is it trestle pine? Why don't I have any fucking half-stoppy knives? What am I? Huh? Do I only have that? Whatever. I give up. I give up. Sorry. I don't know what I'm doing. I just find them satisfying as fuck. That's it. Anyway, these are non-locking slip joint knives, by the way. That other one locked, that's a back lock. But I find them very satisfying and very, very fun. Maybe a little scary. Okay. Should I try to draw the pattern on it? How do I stop this? How do I... All right, all right. There we go. Okay. It's not gonna look good. Not gonna look good. Just gonna save. Call it the GEC uni. Okay, so we'll save that for now. You're wondering, because of the scale crack, I actually use this one all the time. The other ones, they're kind of like in waiting. If somebody, let's put the leather lotion away. If somebody wants to buy them, by all means, I'm willing to sell them, kind of deal. But if if they don't sell by the time I'm using them, I guess they're mine. Let's draw something else. Let's move on. It's way too much for me right now. I don't think I can draw that. I want something simple, relatively speaking. This is empty apparently. Oh, there goes that. Savage. Oh, I fucking love this knife. Okay. We'll have to do this another time though, because this one is kind of complicated. I got this one on sale as well. Um, that's really the only way I would buy stuff. So this is a very unique lock where it's kind of like a button that you depress and then you have to move it itself. This is a single edge, if you're wondering. Only one side is sharp. This side is completely dull. That's because most places have it so that a double edge is actually illegal. So most companies, don't sharpen them. Want something kind of simple though. Should I draw a screwdriver? Should we do that? It'll be some good shape practice actually. Now that I'm thinking. Yeah, screwed. What if I use this? Let's do some tool practice. So now, already fucked up. Already fucked up. So here's what I want. No. Like that. No. Fuck! God damn, dude. Why is this so difficult? It's too wide. Okay. How does that look not symmetrical? What's going on here? Dude, I am... Alright, let's just undo all that. I am losing it. Alright, here's what I'm gonna do. Okay. Just like a step out. Then a step down. How is it not? I feel like it's totally not symmetrical, right? Like it's not matching exact. I'm so confused. No, that should be thicker. Okay. All right. So then let's switch to this to try and like add some touches to it. Give it some real character, if you will. Nope. Nope. Okay. We got that going. All right, I don't know what bit that's supposed to be. Okay, so now we can turn that off. And let's add some machining to it. And the best part of that is should be able to just cut and paste that and like fit it to where I want it to go. Never mind. What I can do actually is then we have that, and that should now actually technically be on its own layer. So we can remove that. So we'll do it again. And we'll move it again. And we'll do it again. All right, so let's remove that. And we'll actually remove that like that. Because what we truly will want is more like that. Okay, that's not quite right. Or if we just line tool it. Perfect. Okay, I mean, it's not good, but it was a good tool practice, I feel like. I do think we kind of got the gist of it. Do another layer real quick. Let's try and bada boom that, you know. I don't think that's too terrible. It'll be interesting, I think, actually, to maybe revisit this. Let's do like oh, that's what I'm missing for the last knife we did. Okay. I'm gonna try and add some level of depth to it. I don't like that. I don't feel like that's necessarily that good, but I also don't think it's terrible. Like, I feel like you can tell that it's supposed to be something, but what that is, I don't know. Hmm. Hmm. I'm trying to think of what I can pull off here. I don't really think there's anything for me to do in probably like 5 to 10 minutes, so I don't really want to start trying to speed draw something else. Although I think we did a relatively decent job on that, all things considered. Um, Not like it's good or anything, but it's something. I mean, it's not telling me what stuff is when I hover over it. Oh, wait, it just did. Okay, here we go. Sample color. Okay, that's good. Close and fill. Enclose and fill? Let's do some testing. That sounds useful. So red. So if I draw that, does that do anything? No. What does enclose and fill do? Let's do blue so it's highly noticeable. I have no clue what this does. What is this? What is that? What did that do? Does that do anything? Help! How do I get rid of this? Oh. Oh. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let's open something new. Hold on. So let's do that. Okay. So we're done with that. So now that gives us like, I mean, that's really confusing for especially just like plain old line art, I think. What if we just make it bright red for now? What does this do? Okay, that's like a measuring tool. Okay. Oh, wait, it left it? Okay. Wait, that's gonna be really useful if I ever figure out how to use this to get like good curves going. You know what I mean? Like this will give us the ability, I think, to do some depth in the future. I don't know if I know how to use it properly yet. I think maybe it's getting close to time that I start looking at like a lot of YouTube tutorials. The thing is, I feel like I would need to listen while testing, and I generally can't pull that off right now. Um, but I do really like that I can kind of like do this. You know what I mean? This seems like a super useful tool that I just don't quite yet know how to use. Nope, that's wrong. I don't know what shape this is supposed to be, but if I go to this now and hide that, ooh. So now I can go back to that. And this is obviously full on beyond amateur hour. I don't know what this fucking line is all about. This is beyond amateur hour, but we could in theory make the like cubes really easily with that. I definitely see some use case potential. I'm just not skilled enough to utilize it at the moment. Um, but what I am skilled enough to do is probably end this stream. So I think I'm gonna be getting off. Like I feel like we made some pretty good stuff today. Was it the best? No, but we're working on it. We're getting there. Um, we might have been muted for like the first 10 minutes of stream, but hey, we're doing all right now, right? Um, jeez. Anyway, forgot. This is well, we took a picture of this one. This is a Bowie blade, by the way. This is a Hinder XM18 or whatever. I really love this blade shape. There's a pic of that on Twitter and Blue Sky. Anyway, I forgot I had this in my pocket. I I'm gonna go ahead and get off for now. Thanks for being here. I keep putting off. By the way, there was I talked about it before. I was working on a time lapse, and I really want to go back and like finish it because I just didn't. I felt like I hit a wall where I couldn't draw anymore, and I just like can't go back because I'm afraid I'll go back and make it worse, and I feel like it's already kind of decent. So I don't know what to do. I mean, I have a saved version of it, so that's not really the problem. I just don't feel like I can. I don't know. Like sometimes I just feel like I'm doing all right, and other times I'm just not. I lack full consistency, and I'm not even like good when I am like at my best. Anyway, let's make the pen black before we fucking forget. Uh, thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for chilling. I appreciate y'all. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Hopefully next time I'll have an easier time finding a fucking picture to draw. Um, we'll see. I really should just pre-pick one, but thanks for hanging out. Thanks for chilling. Hopefully I'll catch you in the next one. All that good shit. I'll probably be on Arc later tonight or something. But we'll figure that out when it's time. Bye.